Good morning, and thank you for joining me, Coach Mike, on your Monday morning. This past week, I had several clients that had pretty much the same challenge. And I would wager to bet those of you who tune in today have also had this same challenge. Whether it be an employee, a customer, a competitor, or just another person, somewhere along the line, we've had a conversation that didn't necessarily go as planned, and it took us a little bit off our A game. In these situations, as one client had a challenge with a competitor, one had a challenge with a team member, and the other one had a challenge with a client. And they all brought to my attention. Two, fortunately, called me prior or after the challenge started and said, "Coach, how should I handle this?" We had a really good conversation, and I told them the same thing I tell everybody, of which I'll share today. Number one, be calm, be clear, be firm, and be consistent. When you get into a conversation with somebody that you don't necessarily agree with, that conversation sometimes can escalate. Sometimes people bring the wrong energy to that situation. And if their conversation is escalating and their tonality is getting faster and higher and louder, and you match that, what's going to happen? It's going to go just like this. And before you know it, it's going to get out of control, and no one's going to win that conversation. So again, when that situation arises, be calm, be clear, be firm, and be consistent. So what happens then? When that conversation starts going like that, by you being calm and clear and firm, it brings that person back down. So how does that work? Be calm. First of all, one of the lessons we could all do to stay calm, make sure that you're doing some meditation in the morning. I had one client that I walked through doing morning meditation of thinking of the conversations he's going to have with particular team members so he can articulate that conversation in advance, how calm he's going to be, how articulate how he's going to be, how he's going to stroke that person and praise that person for what they've done well, and also talk about the things that they need to tighten up to go to the next level. So by doing meditation in the morning, you can work on that calmness. Now, being clear. Be very clear in your articulation of the conversation. Don't react. Take a step back. And by asking questions, that gives you the ability to be more clear. Ask them a question. Let them do a little articulation, and that give you a chance to take a step back and think of how you're going to react to this conversation positively. Number three, be firm. Be very firm. You run the show. If you are the owner of the firm, you're speaking to a customer or client, they're your rules. This is how they fit into your organization. You make the rules of how things go. So be very firm in your articulation of the steps that are going to be taken to get the solution. And speaking of which, make sure you are spending 80% of the time on the solution and 20% on the challenge, not the other way. A lot of people just like spending 80% of the time on the challenge and really 20 or no on the solution. They just want to vent. And the last thing, be consistent. Be consistent in how you show up in these conversations. I will tell you, when someone brings a conversation that's escalating and you are calm, you're clear in your articulation, the questions you're asking to get full clarity of exactly the challenge that they're facing. When you're firm with your authority and your authenticity and letting them know what needs to be done to take the next step, and when you're consistent, you will see how it has such a huge impact on yourself and the entire team around you, including your customers and your family and anyone you speak to. Because try it. Speak to somebody who's really calm and see what it does to your own reaction to that conversation. So I hope today's lesson has been valuable. I want to wish you all a productive, profitable week. And if this has been valuable, make sure to put your comments below. And if you have any particular challenges, put them below, and we'll address them in future videos. But from here to now, you enjoy your week, make it a productive and profitable one, and I will see you next Monday. Be well. Thank you.